All morning, you're watching Fox 61 Morning News.
6 o'clock. Good morning and happy Friday. We do have a weather impact alert this morning, but thanks so much for checking in with us here at Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus America areas.
And I'm Bridget Bjorla. We do have a wintry mix expected for later on this morning across the state. Early dismissals already rolling in. We have new Hartford and Torrington Public Schools. The rest are scrolling at the bottom of your screen. That's because everything to come in a couple hours, Rachel.
Yeah, give it a couple of hours, 8 to about 10, 11 o'clock. We're going to start to see that precipitation move through. It's going to come down first as a little bit of wintry mix. So we're talking about snow, sleet, and even the potential for some freezing rain before we start to see some lighter showers move through in the afternoon. Again, there may be some mix tied to this as well. Freezing rain, sleet, and rain if you're along the immediate shoreline, wrapping up as wet snow. Now, this isn't a lot, but it is enough to coat things up. It is enough to cause issues on the roadways. This is not a blockbuster storm, but sometimes the more nuisance events cause more issues than the bigger ones because you're just not prepared for it. On our satellite and radar picture now, we are scanning the state dry, but you can see that wall of water that is going to continue to march in our direction today. Temperatures will play a huge role in what type of precipitation we see today. So around 30 degrees in Torrington, 32 in Waterbury, but 34 in New Haven to points to Bridgeport, 35 in Danbury now, but 27 degrees in Willimantic and towards Putnam. So planning your morning through the morning commute, I think any time after about 8 or 9 o'clock from western side of the state first to the eastern side, we're going to start to see that precipitation move through. You'll see here, we see the temperatures fluctuate a few degrees, that they don't move much. So that precipitation moves in, starts off as a little snow for areas inland, changes to mix, and then even the potential for rain before we see this wrap up. So an icy glade is certainly possible for higher elevations. So there's that concern there. And then in terms of snowfall, we're not expecting much, an inch to maybe an inch and a half in spots, but it is enough to cause some issues. So temperature wise, around 35 degrees in Bristol, 36 in Hamden today, 36 in Middletown. If you're along the immediate shoreline, you see those numbers well above that freezing. This is just a rain event for you. Snow showers for tomorrow. Temperature will be around 42 degrees, and then that elephant in the room for Sunday into Monday, that coastal storm. We'll talk about a few scenarios still on the table coming up in just a bit. Here at 6:02, we are largely quiet across the state. Areas of road work, though there wasn't many this morning, and those have wrapped up. So we have lots of green on our map now on 91 as well as 84 this morning, and then also on 395. So taking a look, various locations, East Hartford, Naugatuck, as well as New Haven and Fairfield. We are looking good with light volume. Bridget, Erica.
Well, 5 students were sent to the hospital after a school bus and van crash. This happened on Route 83 in Vernon.
Fox 61's Glenn Kittle joins us live from Vernon this morning with the latest details about what happened. Glenn, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Bridget, Erica. We're told that 6 Skinner Road school children were on the bus at the time of that crash. However, only the 5 were sent to the hospital. We're also told that the driver of the bus and the van that were involved in this crash were also sent to the hospital to be checked out. Now, this is a scene that our crews caught yesterday. You can see some of that heavy damage done to the side of the bus as well as the front of the van. The town of Vernon said that those kids are expected to be okay, and the crash happened at around 3 yesterday afternoon near Pleasant View Drive here in Vernon. Now, Vernon Superintendent Joseph McGarry and Skinner Road School Principal Brian Karaski did visit Rockville General and Connecticut Children's Hospital, where the kids were sent to make sure that the students and their families were okay. We're told that Vernon police are investigating this crash. They're asking anybody with video or eyewitness reports to please contact them as soon as possible. Live in Vernon, Glenn Kittle, Fox 61.
Always concerning when a crash, Glenn, involves kids. Glad that they're going to be on the mend.
Still scary for so many parents and families too.
At 6:04 now, winter weather seems to be hanging around a bit longer. Parts of our state could see a mix of rain and snow later on this morning.
Yeah, a lot of people not excited about this. Fox 61's Joe Monte's in Waterbury this morning, where a lot of people are getting ready for a wet weekend. Joe, I know you're with us. We're not fans.
Hey, good morning. Look, yeah, you know what? There's not much going on out here right now. There's a little bit of salt on the roads. You can see that behind me, actually, maybe if you take a look. But look, we're dealing with weather that's coming later this morning, so we are just going to have to prepare and be ready for it. It's going to be a nuisance type of storm, and today parts of the state, as you heard earlier from Rachel Piscatelli, could be seeing part of a wintry mix. But it's nothing to panic over just yet. Obviously, it's not going to be anything major, but you should be ready for it. You could get your ice melt ready, salt your driveways and walkways, and be careful on the roads, especially over the next couple of mornings. There could be some slippery spots. Now, if you're going to be on the road over the next couple mornings, you should also keep those conditions conditions in mind, you'll definitely want to start by slowing down and following the car in front of you from a little further back. Under normal circumstances, you should follow the person in front of you at least 3 seconds behind, but in these types of conditions, it should be at least double that. Also, no sudden movements. Don't jerk the wheel or turn fast. Keep your movement slow. Don't brake hard, and don't accelerate too fast either. Overall, you want to take things easy on the roads and be patient. Also, if you're traveling across a bridge on your commute, watch for icy spots even more closely. Keep in mind, bridges do freeze faster than your regular roads. Now, overall, the message is to be careful over the next couple of days, starting later this morning. And again, we are watching for, over the weekend, the potential storm for Sunday into Monday. So we will keep an eye on that. Our weather team will be all over it. We'll give you the latest information. But for now in Waterbury, Joe Monty, Fox 61.
Yeah, the good news is crews are ready for this, and as are all of us. So.
Hopefully this is our last one.
Exactly.
Thanks,
Fingers
Joe.
crossed. 6:06, the town of Rocky Hill has lifted the unsafe structure order for building 200 over at the concierge apartments, and this means tenants can safely return to their units once again. Some people have been living at hotels for weeks now. Inspections have cleared the building for these people to come home finally. Still, there are temporary limitations for the garage and the carport. There is still being work done there. We are told the air quality testing for asbestos in buildings 100, 200, and 300 showed levels well below state safety standards. Work is still ongoing in buildings 100 and 300, but Rocky Hill's mayor says the update marks an important step toward getting people back home safely.
One man is dead after Hartford police say an officer shot him after they say that man pulled out a knife. Now, this all happened at an apartment building on Capitol Avenue at about 10 yesterday morning. Officers responded to what they say was a report of someone experiencing a mental health issue. We're told that 2 officers were evaluated after the shooting, but they were not hurt.
I'm shocked, really. It's just sad. It's unfortunate that, that person lose their life, it's just unfortunate.
As the investigation continues, the identity of the man who was shot has yet to be released. We also don't know the names of the officers involved. The Inspector General is now taking over the case.
And at 6:07, officers arrested 4 people in connection to an armed robbery and home invasion in Fairfield. We brought you this as breaking news yesterday. Police say the incident happened just after 2:30 in the morning when a group of 4 masked individuals broke into an occupied home with a firearm. It forced an hours-long shelter-in-place order for neighbors and surrounding businesses on Candlewood Road yesterday morning. Listen to how scary it was for those residents.
I saw, SWAT and everything. It was scary. I'm like, came back to my house and locked the door.
They did tell us to stay in. And then I got the recording from the police department.
I got a lot of alerts from all kinds of places saying, lock your doors, stay in place.
Out of an abundance of caution, school was also canceled for the neighboring Ward High School and McKinley Elementary. Both of those schools are reopening this morning.
6:08 now, and the town of Windsor has temporarily turned off its automatic license plate reader. The town council voted 8-1 to suspend the program amid privacy and data sharing concerns. The town council is working toward a revised contract with its vendor, FOX Safety, or an alternative solution that better protects resident data. Now, we reached out to FOX Safety. So far, we have not gotten a response.
6:08 now, and the United Nations Nuclear Watchdog Agency is pleading for a diplomatic solution to prevent a possible war between the U.S. and Iran. Negotiations have been taking place this week over fully dismantling Iran's nuclear weapons program. Some nuclear material remains intact despite military strikes by the United States last summer at 3 Iranian nuclear facilities. Each nation involved in these negotiations suggests that progress has been made, but President Donald Trump is increasing American military presence near Iran and the surrounding Middle East area. He says he will not allow Iran to develop a nuclear weapons capacity under any circumstances.
President Trump is planning to direct the Pentagon to release government files related to UFOs and extraterrestrial life. In a post on Truth Social, the president says that he wants files on extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomena, and all information connected to UFOs made public. The announcement comes after former President Barack Obama appeared to confirm on a podcast last week that aliens exist. President Trump then accused the former president of revealing classified information. However, former President Obama later clarified in an Instagram post that he was referring to the statistical likelihood of life existing on other planets. It'll be interesting to see what is released.
I mean, that podcast was very telling how he reacted to that. So a lot of questions this morning.